Yeah, because I'm speechless.
That never
right?
happens.
And when you look at this Spurs team, they're young, but you know what Granny used to say, God rest her soul. They're young, but they got old souls.
Baby.
They got old souls. They got old souls. Anybody that was watching that game last night saw a team that was playing unselfish basketball, losing themselves in the team, and it started with Wemby.
Wembanyama catching, ripping through, and a 360 layup. Unreal.
The San Antonio Spurs are 5-0, and the whole NBA should be on alert. Victor Wembanyama is dropping 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks a night while shooting 60% from the field. He's spinning through defenders, pulling off 360 layups, and making it all look effortless. And they're doing this without De'Aaron Fox and Jeremy Sochan. The Spurs have the second best defense in the league. And let's be clear, this is no fluke. This isn't some cute rebuild story. The Spurs are officially a threat, and every team better start paying attention. When they beat Miami 107-101, it marked their 5th straight win to open the season. The first time in franchise history. Think about that. Tim Duncan played nearly 2 decades, won 5 rings, led elite squads, and even he never started 5-0. What's happening in San Antonio right now isn't normal. A 7 feet 5 inches center handling the ball like a guard, young players splitting point guard duties, and a defense so locked in that teams are scared to even attack the rim. Now let's talk about Victor Wembanyama, because this man isn't just good, he's breaking basketball logic. Wemby's putting up 30 points, 14.6 rebounds, and 4.8 blocks per game, while shooting 60% from the field. That's top 10 in scoring and number 1 in rebounds and blocks. But those numbers don't even tell the full story. Against Miami, he went off for 27 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 blocks, and a steal. He was the best player on the court by a mile. Bam Adebayo is a legit all-star, but Wemby made him look like he belonged in the G League. The biggest difference from last year? He's not forcing bad threes anymore. That version of Wemby is gone. This summer, he trained with Hakeem Olajuwon, and you can see it in every move. The footwork, the patience, the post dominance, it's vintage dream energy. At 7 feet 5 inches, he's moving like Kevin Durant, and defenders have absolutely no answer. And on defense, that's where it gets terrifying. It's not just the blocks, it's the fear. He's making players panic before they even get to the rim. Guards drive baseline, see Wemby rotating over, and literally throw the ball away rather than challenge him. That's domination through presence. The combination of size, timing, IQ, and reflexes. We've never seen anything like it in NBA history. But here's what really makes this scary. This isn't a one-man show. The Spurs are way deeper than anyone expected. And these young players aren't just talented. They're winning basketball games. Stephon Castle, in his 2nd year after winning Rookie of the Year, already looks like a 5-year vet. Against Miami, he had 21 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals.
Game. Castle with time and space, and Shelley put it on a roll.
He's averaging 18.8 points, 6 boards, and 5.4 assists this season. Crazy numbers for a 2nd-year guard. But it's more than stats. It's his maturity. He reads pick and rolls like a pro, jumps passing lanes, and makes the right play every time. Devin Vassell is having the best stretch of his career, putting up 16.8 points per game while shooting 40.5% from 3 on 8 attempts per night. That's key because when defenses collapse on Wemby, someone has to punish them. And Vassell's been doing exactly that. He had 17 points and 9 rebounds against Miami and has been consistent all season. Dylan Harper stepped in and immediately contributed, dropping 20 off the bench against Brooklyn and now averaging 14.4 per game. And then there's Keldon Johnson, a former starter turned bench leader. That could have caused drama, but not here. He's embraced the role, bringing energy and giving them 12 points and 6 rebounds a night in fewer minutes. That's the mindset that builds winners. The Spurs' depth is legit. Castle, Harper, and Fox, when he returns, handle the ball. Vassell and Barnes bring shooting and scoring. Johnson, Sachin, and Cornette add size and defense. And in the middle, Wemby controls everything. That's 9 players deep, all reliable. And you can't talk about this team without talking about that defense. The Spurs are giving up just 103.8 points a game, best in the NBA. Their defensive rating? Plus 14.4, second in the league. Opponents are shooting only 42% overall and just 46% inside the arc, lowest in basketball. Last year, they were middle of the pack defensively. What changed? Sean Sweeney. They hired him from Dallas this offseason, and he's completely transformed them. You saw what he did with the Mavericks during their finals run. Now he's doing it with Wemby as his anchor, and it's working perfectly. Those long, athletic guards, Castle, Vassell, Harper, are pressuring the ball nonstop on the perimeter. Everything gets funneled straight toward the paint. And guess who's waiting there? A 7 feet 5 inches shot-blocking monster averaging 5 swats a night. That's instant death for anyone brave enough to try. But here's what makes this defense so suffocating. Teams know the scheme. They know where Wemby is, and it still doesn't matter. Ball handlers think they've got a clear lane. Then suddenly he's there, rotating over, causing hesitation, panic, bad passes, chaos.
Nice powerful jumper.
Mitchell and Wembanyama, the Grim Reaper. Wemby on the other end, banks it in.
It's happening every single game. The entire squad has bought in. Rotations are tight. Communication is constant. Everyone knows their role. When you have a rim protector like Wembanyama anchoring everything, the whole defense clicks. Guards can attack harder on the perimeter because they know if anyone slips by, there's a 7 feet 5 inches safety net waiting. This is the second best defense in basketball right now, and Wembanyama is the heartbeat of it all. And here's the wild part. All of this elite play, all the winning, all the dominance. They're doing it without De'Aaron Fox and Jeremy Sachin. Think about that. Fox hasn't even played a single minute yet. The all-star point guard they traded for last season is still recovering. Sachin, one of their best defenders, is also out. So when you see them crushing teams, remember, this isn't even their final form. When Fox returns, he gives them another explosive scorer who can run the offense and take over late in games. Sachin brings more size, more switchability, and defensive grit. Imagine this roster fully healthy. Fox, Castle, Harper in the backcourt. Vassell and Barnes raining threes. Sachin, Johnson, and Cornette bringing power and defense. And in the middle, Wemby controlling the entire floor. That's 9, maybe 10 deep with guys who can really play. Most young teams collapse when they lose stars. This team has gotten better. That says everything about the system and the buy-in from these players. When Fox and Sachin come back, this team goes from dangerous to downright terrifying. We're talking about a roster that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the Western Conference. The rest of the NBA is finally catching on. ESPN had the Spurs ranked 16th before the season started. Now, just a week in, they've jumped to number 6. That's not luck, that's domination. They're tied for first in the West and have the second best point differential in the entire NBA at plus 14.4. The Spurs aren't sneaking up on anyone anymore. Everyone knows exactly what's coming out of San Antonio. Now let's get real. This rise didn't come out of nowhere. Just 2 years ago, the Spurs were tanking, winning only 22 games and waiting for Wemby to arrive. Nobody thought they'd climb this fast. Last season, they won 34 games with Wemby missing half the year. They flashed potential but couldn't close games. That was a rebuilding team doing rebuilding things. But this year, it's different. They're not just winning, they're controlling games. They're dictating tempo, dominating defense, and breaking opponents' rhythm. Holding teams under 105 points in 2025 is insane, yet they're doing it nightly. Sure, questions remain. Can Wemby's body handle this pace for 82 games? Will the young guys hit a wall? Maybe. But here's what's undeniable right now. The system works, the star is ascending, and the momentum is real. This was supposed to be a fun young team, fighting for a play-in spot. Instead, they look like a legit contender in a loaded Western Conference. With the second-best defense in the league and a 7 feet 5 inches MVP candidate leading the charge, the Spurs aren't rebuilding. They're reborn. Wembanyama is putting up 30 and 14 like it's nothing while anchoring an elite defense. The system Sean Sweeney installed is suffocating. The young core is thriving. Castle's playing like a seasoned vet, Vassell's lighting it up from deep, and Harper's making an instant impact off the bench. Every player has bought in. And remember, they're still missing Fox and Sachin. When those two come back, this team could be downright frightening. We're looking at a roster that's 10 deep with real contributors. 5 years from now, people might look back at this 5-0 start as the moment everything changed. The birth of a new era in San Antonio. Not the Duncan years. Not the Big Three. This is the Wembanyama era. And if you're a fan of any of the other 29 teams in the league, you better start paying attention. Because the Spurs aren't rebuilding anymore. They've arrived.